AFC drop out of the automatics this past week as Barrow sneak into the top 3. Who's going to go up? Who's going to go down? We're going to take a little look. That's right, folks. Bottom's getting another prediction video today. We're taking a look at match number 31, of course, over in League 2, and we'll get to that in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe button. Your one-stop shop for League 1 right here, boys and girls, as well as Blackburn Rovers, World Football, all under one roof. That's right, of course, as we build up for another busy old week over in League 2 to see who will go into those automatic spots, and, of course, who's going to compete for those playoffs. And we'll get into all of that in just a second. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons. You know who you are. And again, if you're new, where the hell have you been? Subscribe. A whopping 75% of you are not subscribed. And do us all a favour by hitting the old like button. It does wonder. It does. I know people say this all the time, but it does do absolutely bits for this video as well as the channel. Gets a bit more coverage, of course, puts it in the out, feeds the algorithm. But anyway, we're going to jump in the deep end now and, of course, look back at League 2 last week. Not the midweek games, just, of course, it's the last full week. And here we go then. Recap of the results and my picks. Then, of course, we'll see who did well in our own prediction league. So here we go then. Newport County did beat Swindon 2-1 last week. Got that one spot on the nose. The real scorelines are on the right in the grey. The ones on the left in the white are my picks. So 2-1 win for Newport. Got that one spot on the nose. Meanwhile, Stanley could only manage to a draw against Grimsby out with the 2-0 win as well for the hosts there. Barrow did beat MK Dons 1-0 win out with a 2-1 win. Not too shabby. Bradford 0-0 draw against Wimbledon. I went with a 1-0 win myself. Colchester United and Forest Green Rovers, they did get a draw. 3-3 it was in the end. I went with a 1-1 draw. The Vegans are fighting right now. Meanwhile, Morecambe also fighting with a 2-1 away win against Crawley. I went with the hosts on that. Got that one wrong. Meanwhile, Gillingham with a draw against Walsall. I went with the home win. Mansfield Town with a 1-0 win over the Notts County. I went with a 3-2 win on that. Salford did spank Port Wrexham, of course. That, of course, sees Wrexham drop out the top 3. Salford are on the move. Under the new managerial ship, Carl Robinson. Stockport County, 1-1 draw against Harrogate. That's a surprise as well, as the top team, of course, also dropping points. Sutton United with a draw against Doncaster. Rovers got the one spot on the nose. And Tranmere and Crewe due out to a 0-0 draw. Well, those, of course, are my picks. Well, those are my picks, of course, but let's take a look at the situation in the table. Well, the table looks like this, guys. Of course, Stockport County are leading, 58 points on the board right now. Mansfield are in second. Barrow are in third. There's Wrexham, Crewe, MK Dons, and then Notts County. Don't rule out Harrogate. Don't rule out Wimbledon. Gillingham as well. Stanley also within touching distance. Morecambe making a push, as are Newport. The thing going down, Forest Green Rovers and Sutton United trying to drag in Doncaster and Colchester and Grimsby. So I'd say there's a 5-horse race for the drop, and there's a whole bigger race for those playoffs, of course. But anyway, that's enough about that. Let's take a look at our own prediction league then, shall we? So here we go. The winners of this past week. Only a handful of you guys. I respect those guys for getting the picks in. Andy up there with 5. James PFC with 5 as well. Russell with 4. Ultra Omnium Fjord. Swindon RV with 3. Shane O'Donnell also 3. And Vinny Hong. So well done to you guys for chipping in. Of course, I know it's been bumpy with the prediction league, but of course, those points are then added to our master leaderboard. And here that comes right here, right now, with James PFC running away with it. 1-3-3 right now. Andy, though, 1-2-7. He still thinks he's got a chance there. Russell Frost also in the 120. Swindon Harvey, Ultra Omnium, Vinny Hong, Shane O'Donnell. Shepherd's in there. Eamon Hussein, Coleman make up the top 10, of course. So those are, of course, the latest picks in our prediction league. But, of course, that can all change, as well as the league table, with our next round of matches. So let's jump in the deep end with that one then, shall we? Kick it all off with the first game. Notts County against Gillingham. That's coming at you on Friday, February the 9th. Now, these two sides have played each other 7 times in 2008. We've got 3 wins apiece and 1 draw. Of course, the biggest win for Notts County was a 3-1 win, scoring 10 goals in those 7 games. 1.43 goals a game. The Gills, though, 3-1 win, their biggest, also scoring 10 goals in those 7 games. 1.43 heading into this one. Also, these two sides locking on form as well. 50% form for both of these two sides, winning 2, losing 2, and drawing 2. We have the Gills in 10th, 43 points on the board, up against Notts County, who are 7th, 44 points on the board as well. And the hosts here haven't won in the last 4 matches, of course, coming into this one. Now, these two sides did look on over in Notts County last, back in October 2014. It was a 1-0 win for Notts County. That was back in League One, guys. My half times have changed. The bookies on this one, 11-10 on is your Notts County, 3-1 is the draw, 13-5 is, of course, your away win. That is Gillingham, of course. Notts County were real contenders for promotion and playoffs earlier. They've come off a little bit of a bump in the road right now. I do think they'll win this one against Gillingham. 2-1 win for me to get themselves hopefully back into the mix as well. Meanwhile, Crewe against Crawley in the Battle of the Seas. That's right, coming at you on Saturday, the 10th of Feb. Played each other 19 times, 2011, for 11 wins for Crewe. We got 3 wins for Crawley, 5 draws, of course. The biggest win for Crewe was a 6-1 win. They've actually got 33 goals against Crawley in the 19 games, 1.74 goals a game. Crawley, though, 3 wins, and of course, the biggest was a 3-0 win. They scored just 19 goals in the 19 games. You could do the math on that one. Meanwhile, Crawley, without a win in 3, in fact, 3 defeats on the spin for them, 14th in the table, 39 points on the board. Against the Crewe side, who are 5th, 75% fall for them right now. Back-to-back games, though, without a win. They have got 51 points on the board at the moment. Last time around, though, at Crewe, it was a 1-0 win for Crewe back in September 2022. Crewe are unbeaten against Crawley over the last 6, 5 wins and just 1 draw. The bookies on this one, 21-20 is your Crewe, 14-5 is the draw, 23-10 is your Crawley on this one. Going to back the host, surely. 2-0 win for Crewe, for the Alex on this one. Meanwhile, Doncaster Rovers up against Tranmere Rovers. It's the battle of the Rovers, of course. They're better Rovers than my Rovers at the moment, because we are shite, and let's not get into that right now. 15 times these two sides played each other since 2004. 9 wins for Doncaster, 3 for Crewe, for Tranmere. We got 3 draws as well. The biggest win for Doncaster was a 3-0 win. They got 20 goals in those 15 matches, 1.33 goals a game. Tranmere, though, 3-0 win, the biggest, 10 goals scored in those 15 matches, 0.67 goals a game. They're on 58% form are Tranmere right now, just 2 defeats in the last 6. They are 16th in the table with 37 points on the board. Up against the Doncaster side, just 1 win in 6, 25% form for them right now. They are 22nd with just 29 points on the board. Last time around, over at the Keepmoat, it was a 2-0 win for Doncaster. That was back in February 2023. That was over in League 2. The odds on this one, we have 5-4. Your Doncaster, 21-10 is your Tranmere, 5-2 is, of course, the draw. And I am leaning on a draw here, 1-1 on, of course, my first of the lot. That's right. Kicking off for it's Morecambe. It is, of course, Sutton United. That's right. Coming at you over at the Globe Arena, or the Aztec, or whatever they call it. Played just the one time to 2023, of course. It was the reverse fixture, and we'll talk about that shortly. Morecambe on 50% form for them at the moment. 1-2, lost 2, and drawn 2. Of course, 12th for the table with 40 points on the board against the Sutton side. 33% form for them right now. They are 23rd with 22 points on the board. Just 1 defeat them in the last 4 for them, but they are all draws. Of course, the reverse fixture was a 3-2 win for Morecambe in Sutton way back in, of course, October 2023. The bookies odds on this one, we do have Morecambe 6-5 for the victory, 20-10 is your Sutton, 13-5 is, of course, the draw here. Going to go with a 2-1 win for the hosts. Morecambe, are they out of the playoff race? We'll see about that shortly. Meanwhile, Walsall taking on Newport County over at the Bescot. Now, these two sides have played each other 10 times in 2017. We've got 1 win for Walsall, 3 for Newport County, and 6 draws. Of course, the biggest win for Walsall was a 1-0 win. They got 11 goals in those 10 games, 1.10 goals a game. Newport, 2-1 win, the biggest, scoring 13 goals in 10 matches, 1.30 goals a game. Newport County, though, 75% form for them right now, just 1 defeat in the last 6. In fact, winning 4 of the last 5, 13th in the table, 40 points on the board against the Walsall side, 50% form for them right now, without a win in 4, 15th in the table with 38 points on the board as well. Last time around, over at the Bescot, it was a 1-1 draw back in February 2023. In fact, Walsall, though, unbeaten against Newport County over the last 4, just 1 win, though. 3 draws between the two sides. The bookies have 2017 on is your Walsall, 13-5 is the draw, 3-1 is your Newport County here. Going to go with a 1-0 win for the Welshies. That's right. They are on form at the moment. Forest Green Rovers. That's against the bookies, that one. Forest Green Rovers against Mansfield coming at you this coming weekend over at Feganland. They played each other 22 times since 2008. 6 wins for Forest Green, 10 for Mansfield, and 6 draws. Of course, the biggest win for Forest Green. 2-0 wins, scoring 23 goals in those 22 games. 1.05 goals a game on average. Mansfield, though, 4-1 win, the biggest, scoring 32 goals in 22 matches. 1.45 goals a game. On 50% form are Mansfield, just 1-2, lost 2, and drawn 2 over the last 6. However, just 1 win in 5. Second at the table, though, 54 points on the board at the moment. Meanwhile, Forest Green are 24th with 20 points on the board, 33% forward for them, with Stevie Cottrell at the helm. And of course, the Vegans haven't won in the last 11 matches, drawing 4 of the last 6. Of course, last time around, though, over in Forest Green, it was a 1-0 win, and Forest Green are unbeaten against Mansfield over the last 3. And over the last 6, they've just lost once against them heading into this, though. The bookies for this one, though, Forest Green are 50-4 for the victory, 4-3 on is your Mansfield, and 13-5 is the draw here. 3-1 win for Mansfield on this one. They are, of course, hoping to move into top spot. We'll see about that shortly. Grimsby against Stockport County coming at you over in Grimsby. They played each other 27 times in 1988. 8 wins for Grimsby. Grimsby, 12 wins for Stockport, 7 draws, of course. The biggest win for Grimsby, 7-0 wins, scoring 36 goals in 27 matches, 1.33 goals a game. The biggest win, though, for Stockport, 4-0 win, scoring 40 goals in 27 matches, 1.48 goals a game. Now, 58% form, our Stockport just one defeat in the last 6. They are top with 58 points on the board against Grimsby side, who are 20th with 29 points, 33% form for them right now, just 1 win in 6, of course. Now, these two sides did lock horns last time around at Grimsby. It was a 1-0 win for Grimsby back on New Year's Day, 2023. But the odds for this one, we have Grimsby 3-1 for the victory, 2017 on is your Stockport, 11-4 is the draw. Back in the away side here as well, 2-0 win, Stockport taking all 3 points. Meanwhile, Harrogate Town are on a right old uptick of form right now against the Colchester United side, who are, of course, still grinding at the results down the foot end. Of course, 7 times these two sides have played since 2020, 2 wins for Harrogate, 5 for Colchester, 3 draws, of course. The biggest, 0 draws, of course. The biggest win for Harrogate was a 3-0 win, scoring 9 goals in 7 games, 1.29 goals a game. Colchester, the 3-1 win, the biggest, scoring 11 goals in those 7 matches, 1.57 goals a game. On 42% form are Colchester, unbeaten in the last 4, of course, 21st on the table with 29 points right now. Harrogate, 67% form for them right now, unbeaten in the last 5, winning 3, drawing a couple. They are 8th with 44 points on the board, and of course, playoffs are not out of the question just yet. Now, these two sides locked horns in Harrogate back in January 2023. It was a 3-1 win for Colchester, of course. But the odds right here, right now, we've got Harrogate coming at you 23-20 for the victory, 13-5 is the draw, 23-10 is your away win. That's Colchester. It's quite tight amongst the bookies, but I'm back in Harrogate Town with their form. 2-1 win for them to make a push for that top 7. MK Dons up against Accrington Stanley. This is a playoff, a crunch clash, of course. Played each other 12 times since 2006. 7 wins for MK Dons, 3 for Stanley, 2 draws, of course. The biggest win for the hosts, 5-0 win. They got 23 goals in those 12 matches, 1.92 goals a game. Accrington, though, 1-0 win, the biggest, scoring 13 goals in 12 matches, 1.08 goals. Now, 50% form are Stanley, 1-2 lost to and drawn to, 11th with 42 points to the board against the MK Dons side, also on 50% form, winning 3 and losing 3, but they are 6th with 48 points on the board as well. Last round over in MK Dons, in MK whatever they call it, it was a 1-1 draw back in August 2022. That was in League One. Now, these two sides, bookies have it 5-4 on your MK, 14-5 is your draw, 10-3 is your Stanley here. Going to go with a 2-0 win, unfortunately, for the hosts, of course. And into the final 3, we have Swindon Town against Salford in the Battle of the S's. Now, these two sides have played each other 6 times in 2019, 3 for Swindon, 1 for Salford, 2 draws, of course. Now, the biggest win for Swindon was a 2-1 win, scoring 9 goals in 6 matches, 1.50 goals a game. Salford, though, 2-1 win, the biggest, scoring 7 goals in 6 matches, 1.17 goals a game. They're on 67% form, are Salford right now, unbeaten in the last 5. Of course, 19th with 34 points on the board. Against the Swindon side, 42% form for them right now, 2 wins at the last 6. They are 17th with 37 points on the board at the moment, of course. Last time around, over in Swindon, it was a 0-0 draw back in August 2022. Of course, the bookies have Swindon 8-5 for the victory, 31-20 is just Salford, 11-4 is draw. I think Salford are cooking right now. I think I would change my mind. Yeah, I would go with an away win, 2-1 win for Salford, but I stuck with my draw. That was my gut. I just think Salford will not lose this game. I think Carl Robinson, good coach, underrated, and probably had his stock has taken a bit of a tumble, but I think he should be managing much higher than this. Anyway, that's enough about that. And I'm not. Yeah. Anyway, moving forward, Wimbledon up against Barrow, of course, coming at you over at Plough Lane. Now, these two sides have played each other 8 times in 2009. 2 wins for Wimbledon, 4 for Barrow, 2 draws. Of course, the biggest win for the Dons, 4-2 wins, scoring 9 goals in 8 games, 1.13 goals a game. Barrow, though, 2-0 win, the biggest, scoring 11 goals in 8 matches, 1.38 goals a game. 1 defeat in the last 5 for Barrow, 50% form for them right now. They are 3rd, 53 points on the board. Up against the Wimbledon side, 42% form for them right now. 2 wins in the last 6, 9th in the table, of course. Last time around, though, in Wimbledon, it was a 1-0 win for Barrow back in August 2022. The odds for this one, we have Wimbledon 21-20 for the victory, 13-5 is your Barrow, and 12-5 is the draw here. Gonna go with a Wimbledon victory here, but let me go big picture, of course. I did drop a tweet this past. I know we'll come back to the Wrexham game. Did drop a tweet this week. I said if Rovers were to part company with JDT, Pete Wild at Barrow would be one of my guys I would love to sit down and have an interview with to see if he is the right man for the job for the job for Rovers. I think he could do a fantastic job for Barrow, and I would put him in at least have a little conversation with him to see if he could fit the mould at Rovers. Just want to put that out there. Anyway, and then wrap it up. We go to Wrexham, of course, Hollywood FC against Bradford, of course, coming at you at the Racecourse Ground. Played each other 6 times in 2004. 1 win for Wrexham, 2 for Bradford, 3 draws. Of course, the biggest win for the Welsh was a 1-0 win, scoring 9 goals in 6 games, 1.50 0 goals again. Bradford, though, biggest win for them, 5-4 win, scoring 10 goals in 6 matches, 1.67 goals again. Bradford under Graham Alexander, 1 defeat in the last 6, 58% form for them right now. They're 18th in the table, 37 points on the board. Against the Wrexham side, 50% form for them right now, 3 defeats on the spin for them. A bit of a bump in the road, 4th in the table, 52 points on the board as well. Last time around, over in Wrexham in the league, it was a 1-1 draw back in January 2008. That was in League 2. 11-10 on is your Wrexham, 13-5 is your draw, 3-1 is of course your away win. I backed Wrexham here, despite the form. 3-1 win to bounce back and of course retain a top 3 spot, or do they? Let's take a look at what my predictions would make if it all came on true. Of course, it would look a little bit like this. Of course, Wrexham would be back into that top 3. We'd have Stockport leading, Mansfield, of course, sandwiched in between those two. Crew into 4th, Barrow 5th, MK Don 6th, and Notts County into 7th. Going down, Sutton, and of course, Forest. I mean, those are my picks. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, and of course, get your own picks using the link in the description. But until then, I'll see you soon for the next one.